Over the years, I have worked personally with hundreds, had conversations with thousands of nice guys. I know a lot of the common pieces, but here's one piece, and it is the fear of rejection. The amount of mental energy given to how a nice guy is viewed by others. In this video, we're going to break down four deeply important, crucial truths and lessons for you to take on board, to accept, and to start to implement into your life immediately if you want to address not only the fear of rejection or what other people think of you, but fundamentally to start burying your nice guy, all of that conditional kindness, all of the shit the ways that show up in your life, and truly step into being more solid, more secure, more at peace with yourself, and not so externally focused on how others view you. But first, hey there, legend. I'm Mike Campbell. I am the anti-nice guy men's coach, and I help everyday men, nice guys, bury that nice guy so you can actually get so much more from your life, your love, and your everyday. Build genuine self-respect, self-worth, and a solid sense of security. If you're new here, make sure to click like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications, all those things. Let's get into today's video. The fear of rejection. Oh my Lord, I remember that so well. And I'm not immune to it. I am a nice guy in recovery. These things still visit us in different ways, but at new levels. And often where we fear rejection most, certainly for those in relationships, is with the person we're in a relationship with, because there's more at stake. The high risk relationships. It could be in your business, asking with clients, there's more on the line. Your business isn't looking so good financially. And there's a lot of fear of rejection when it comes to, this potential client or whatever it might be. However, this shows up for you, however, you might give so much mental and emotional energy to what other people think of you. Today, we're going to visit some extremely important pieces that we need to get clear on right now. But first of all, let's kind of touch base on the nice guy and where he is at, because there is many ways in which nice guy syndrome shows up, the beliefs, the stories, the behaviors, and the patterns. If you're new here, then let's speak to one of kind of the key through lines for a nice guy, and that is insecurity is driving so much of his life. And if you're a nice guy, I'll speak to this. Insecurity tends to drive so much of your life. And what happens is the niceness and all the things around that, the people pleasing, the avoiding conflict, etc., they are driven in service of that insecurity. It is self-preservation in order to try and gain a sense of security. So the actions are in service of the insecurity inside, not in service of the person that we're being nice to. I don't want to hurt that person. Really, it's that I'm uncomfortable with someone else being uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with someone else's emotions. I'm uncomfortable with someone being disappointed with me, right? I will avoid conflict. I will people please because I want them to feel better. But really, it's because I want to feel better about myself, right? We will sacrifice self in order to try and win favor of others. The nice guy will chase being liked, or not being disliked, right? The seeking of approval, the seeking of validation, hoping that if everyone thinks he is okay, then he can feel okay. And a lot of what goes on here is the abandoning of self in order to try and gain others. Now, this is a brief overview, right? The passive way of communicating, the hoping people read your mind and meet your needs, right? All that conditional kindness that says, I'm going to be this person here so that you like me in return, so that you can validate and approve of me in return, so that you might then meet my needs in return. Of course, what happens? Well, that's those covert contracts. So then there's the frustration, the resentment. This person isn't showing up for me the way that I'm showing up to them. All those unspoken expectations, as Neil Strauss says, become premeditated resentments. And that's kind of a big part of the life of a nice guy. There's many things to address in this. We're going to get to the foundations and the root of your insecurity. But here are some deeply important lessons to take away with you today. Because I think the first thing before we even get into those is this. You are probably here because you're recognizing that whatever you're doing ain't working. And so more of that's not going to get you to a new place. I suggest and suspect that you're tired of experiencing the same shit that you have been experiencing, and you know it's time for change, and you want potentially some kind of silver bullet. Well, let me tell you this. There is no silver bullet, but these lessons today are pretty damn close if you can truly take these on accept them, embody them. Now, the first one that you've got to 100% come to terms with and start accepting is that people will judge you. People will reject you, let's say, or perhaps said in a different sentence, people will say no to you. They will say no to your requests. They might judge you. When the nice guy hangs so much on the approval or opinions or judgment of others, what we do is we continually put our lives and how we feel about ourselves and therefore how we show up in the world and how we be into the hands of others. People are going to judge you. There is no way to avoid judgment. Now, that can manifest in many different ways. Often there's a perfectionism element, and what perfectionism really is, it's driven by fear and insecurity, and it's a desire to try and become perfect that I am then immune to judgment. But this work, growing, right, self-development, healing, whatever term you want to use, whatever's relevant and feels aligned for you. It can't be about growing away from the parts of you don't like. It actually has to be about accepting those, because often when we fear judgment from others, really is a reflection of how we are judging ourselves. Just like how we might judge others is usually something to do with what I'm perhaps judging in myself. But people are going to judge you. People are going to view you and make judgments about you through their lens, through their perspective, through their lived experience. One of the things that you absolutely must do is learn to be okay with this, that people will judge you. They might judge you in any number of ways, but if you can go, you know what? People are going to judge me, and I'm going to choose to separate me, who I am, and how I feel about myself from that. Now, of course, there are different people. There are people close to you who you deeply don't want to judge you, more so than perhaps random people on the internet or the street, although that can differ for a lot of guys. That matters, right? You might have your partner and you're like, well, I don't want my partner to judge me. That's a conversation, but still they might, because they're still viewing through their lived experience, perhaps even from their experience that day. Your partner might judge you in a moment because they've had a shitty day and they're bringing you their shit to you. Your job is to put that down and not pick it up. Learning to be okay with this will allow you to feel free. The job for you is to let go of the fear of judgment of others, let go of the judgment of self, and learn to fully welcome all of yourself. The pieces that you've hidden in the dark, the pieces that you feel shame about, that you judge yourself or fear judgment for. Welcome all of you in. You might have done some shitty things in the past, but you are not that person. But can you accept that that's what you did? That's who you are, but that's a part of who you were in that moment. It is not who you are. Because when we can start to do that, we can start to welcome all of ourselves in. We can start to feel more whole. We can start to feel more at home. When we can do that, any potential judgment from others carries less sting. It holds less impact for us. But your job is to be okay with the sting. It can sting when people judge you, but can you learn to handle that and not attach your identity or your sense of self or self-worth to that? Now, I put it to you that you can, but you need to practice this. Put yourself in environments where people might judge you, or where the story is in your head that people might judge you. Build the resilience to that. People judge me, I'm still okay. People chose me or not chose me, I'm still okay. So the first really significant point, and to start exploring, start experiencing, start building some resilience around, is that people will judge you. Be okay with that. Sit in the discomfort, inquire, get curious, and then learn to put it down and not connect it to who you are. Second point, deeply important lesson. After people will judge you, people will not like you. This one, it speaks to so much of the old former nice guy in me, and I know it speaks to so many nice guys. No, but I need people to like me, because fundamentally the story going, and it might not be conscious, but it's in the subconscious, is because then if people like me, I can feel safe, I can feel okay. No one can be liked by everyone. An attempt to do so is quintessentially an abandonment of self. It's saying, I don't like myself and I need others to like me so I can feel okay. So by definition, it can never happen Because if somehow you are liked by everyone, you're not liking yourself because you're needing that approval and validation and being liked by others in order to like yourself. So you're missing the most fucking important person. No one can be liked by anyone. Even Jesus had haters, right? Gandhi, I don't care who you are, Malcolm X, Nelson Mandela, everyone has haters. No one escapes this, not being liked or being disliked. No one escapes this. So the sooner you can start to accept that, there are going to be people that don't like me. And there might even be people that don't like me or dislike me that I really want to like me. That's being a human. Learning to be able to be okay in that disappointment, to experience the disappointment, but not attach again your sense of self and your identity and self-worth to that. As you show up continually in the world, attempting to be liked by others for this likable, curated version of yourself, even if it happens, even if people like you, they're liking that version. They're liking the safe, curated version. This is who I think you'll like. It's not you. So it never lands. You rob them of the real you, and you rob yourself of a fucking relaxed, calm nervous system and a full expression and experience of life. It's handing over your sense of self, your identity and sense of self-worth to everyone else. It's saying, my insecurity is so much that I need you to do the heavy lifting for me. Please like me and reassure me that I'm okay. What this asks you to do is fully take responsibility for your sense of self, for feeling safe in your skin. Other people impact it. And if you do not have people around you who can say what they appreciate about you and what they like about you and be honest with you and invite you into, corners and crevices that you haven't explored, you need those people. But taking responsibility of your sense of self and being feeling safe in your skin means actually being secure in yourself. So the work has to be internally. How do I secure myself as opposed to gaining that from the external world and that external orientation? Because if you are all about who you think people want you to be, or who they simply think you are, and they might express that you are, um, you have no substance. So we'll look back to this in a second, but let's visit the first part of that sentence. If your orientation and how you are in the world is purely down to who you think you are, or you think people want you to be, you can probably tell that that is likely not the case. It's saying, I think that's who they want me to be, or I think this is who they think I am. They probably don't. And even if they expressed it, even if someone said, I don't like you, or they judge you in a way, or they said, this is what I think about you, you don't need to pick that up and make it about you. It's still showing that on balance, you're letting the external world and the ideas of others determine who and how you are. It also means when I'm showing up in that mode, I have no substance. Once we kind of poke through the outer layer of the facade, there's nothing there. And this is what's going on for so many nice guys. Trying to be liked by everyone, trying to be liked by everyone, trying to be liked by everyone. It's just this kind of curated, likable version, but there's no substance, there's no depth, right? When we push through that surface, it's like, there's nothing there. But who are you if you are not who you think other people think you are? Learn to be okay with the fact that other people will not like you. Not everyone. Don't let the world tell you who to be or your idea of that. Choose for yourself. Be proud of your choices. Like who you are. Like your choices. That's half the work. Okay, some people aren't going to like me. All right. Can I like myself? And you might say, no, in this moment, that's the goddamn problem, Mike. I can't. Then I will put it to you, okay, so what choices do I need to make in order to like myself? And in there might be a whole lot of work because you might go, well, I need to be better looking, or I need to have more success over here. I need to have a better job, or I need to have the partner. And you can see what you've gone and done is attach those things externally. Who do you want to be? What kind of traits and values do you want to embody? That is where that question is guiding you to. If you can be proud of the choices that you make and like them, you can start to like yourself. Because ultimately, this comes down to feeling comfortable in your skin. And if you want to feel comfortable in your skin, if you want to feel at peace in your skin, you have to try it on. You have to wear it around. But if you're putting the likable, curated version of you into the world, that's not your skin. And so when I say you got to wear your skin around, it means you got to be yourself. Now, as a little caveat there, a lot of people might mistake this for, yeah, so this is how I am. I say it how it is, or, I'm just really shy. Some of that is the kind of, let's say, self-preservation trauma response version of you. I mean, the most authentic version of you. And so that might ask and require you to do a little bit of work to truly tap into who am I beneath the facade, or the achievements, or the relationship status, or the nice guy, conditional niceness, platitudes, and people pleasing and avoiding conflict and all that stuff. Who am I really? That's where there's work. And that might find you in a place of like, holy shit, I don't know. Okay, that can be uncomfortable and a beautiful opportunity to start growing from the ground up. Who do I want to be? There's an invitation in that question. Start building it and becoming it. Point number 3, not all people are your people. Some people just are not for you. But if you're trying to be liked by everyone, you're missing that not everyone is for you. And you are going to miss and be missed by the people who truly are for you, people who truly are your people. But energy going towards trying to win over people, certainly that aren't your people, right? But win them over to avoid judgment, to gain acceptance, is energy wasted that could be put towards gaining, connecting with your people, people who get you. But if there's a barrier of masks, a barrier of the nice guy facade, they're never going to get there. They're never going to get in. And I get it, right? That's where the insecurity lives. Exactly. I'm terrified that those people might see who I am and not like me, might judge me. Remember, that's part of it. We have to be okay with that possibility. The risk of not being chosen is the price of admission for true, deep connection. Because remember, as a human, we all deeply want to be seen, heard, acknowledged, chosen for who we are. But then we're fearful that if we are and we're not chosen, oof, that's going to mean something about myself. So we can put up those blocks. But it's the price of admission. If you want to truly feel seen, be chosen, you have to be willing to be seen. And you have to choose yourself first. That regardless of if someone chooses me or not, I will be okay. Because if someone truly is your person, you can't fuck it up. They want the full expression of you. That's the point. Warts and all, foibles and all, pieces of the shadow and all, because they are your person, your people. If they're not into it, they're not your people. And that can have some sadness, some disappointment, as we said, because you might want them to be. There's some acceptance in there. Okay, can I let that person go right now? Maybe they're not your person right now. Some acceptance, some acceptance. You will find your people by being you, by letting those that dig it find you. Otherwise, as I said before, you're making other people's minds up for them. If me truly wants to feel seen and heard and valued and be chosen, be liked, I have to start by liking it first. So I have to reverse it. It can't be driven externally to then feel it internally, to create it internally, to choose it internally. I have to choose it internally, warts and all, by making choices that I'm proud of, by making choices that I like. Otherwise, you will never feel liked if you are waiting for the world to choose for you. If there are people who want you to be different, anyone who wants you to be anything other than yourself, they are not your people. Certainly not this time. Now, I want to could have put a little caveat in there. There might be a differentiation needed. Someone might be inviting you into growth. Someone might be saying, this behavior I don't like, I don't appreciate. I will like you, I want you, but this behavior I would like to see change. That's different because you are not your behaviors. However, you are a result of your choices, right? So we have to be able to differentiate that. But if someone wants you to change and they want you to be something different than you're not, that's not your person, not right now in this moment. But I want to add to this a very important piece that comes up for a lot of nice guys, and this is imposter syndrome type piece. And I'll say this very briefly. If that is you and you experience that imposter syndrome in various avenues, it can often happen in work, business type things where there's skills and money and value. It's quite obvious, but it can happen in relationships too. Well, if you are feeling, fearing, and experiencing imposter syndrome, it's probably not much of a surprise because you will always feel like an imposter if you are imposing, right? If you are presenting a pretense, if you're presenting the likable version of you, you're an imposter. It's not you. You are actually being an imposter. So if you're experiencing imposter syndrome, it can be, I need to level up on my skills and competency. It's very normal, very um, appropriate. And it might be an invitation to look in the mirror and go, am I being genuine? Am I being authentic in who I am and my self-expression? Because if I'm forcing it, if I'm creating this curated, likable version, that's the imposter. So of course you feel like an imposter. Be fucking real. Number 4 in this, we go, people will judge you. People will not like you. Not everyone is your people. And if it costs you your peace of mind, if it separates you from your integrity, it is too expensive. Now, this goes for any number of things, but along this line for nice guys, what this often means is do not lose yourself and attempt to gain another, because that is a deeply expensive loss. That is costly. And not only do you pay the price, but everyone pays the price because no one gets you. You rob the world of who you truly are and the gifts in there. You rob yourself of full expression and deep experience of the world. If it costs you your peace, right? If abandoning yourself, because that's deeply expensive, and that will separate you from peace and feeling at peace within yourself, it's too expensive. It is far, far too expensive. Here's something that I'm encouraging every nice guy to take on board, and that is how you can learn to like yourself is by liking your choices. How you can choose to feel proud of yourself is being proud of your choices. How you can choose, how you can create self-respect is by respecting your choices, right? You can be a man that you are proud of by being proud of the choices that you make. If you abandon yourself, if you seek approval externally, if you need money or status or job or woman or relationship status in order to feel safe, ask yourself, am I truly proud of those choices, those actions, and that man? And it might not be, and you might not know the path, but I would put it to you that if you are given a choice in this moment, I take this path or this path, you can simplify it down. Which one would allow me to like myself more, to feel more proud of myself, and would be steeped in self-respect? And it can guide you to that. It shortcuts all of the fear of how others view you by placing at the top of the pile how you view and feel about yourself. And right, whilst you might not feel great about yourself right now, it's still a choice in a given moment. Okay, but if I did have high self-worth and if I want to like myself, what choice would I make now? And you can probably see that that might be an easier said than done moment because what it invites and requires is some courage. This is the second bonus. You are going to have to access your courage on a regular basis. That is what helps you grow in competence and self-trust. And then confidence is a byproduct. How I feel more solid, more secure, more comfortable in my skin. But if you want to get there, you've got to accept some of these truths and step into what they ask of you. That has been some important lessons for nice guys to accept and start taking action on and bringing into your life every day. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, or reach out to us if you listen to this on the podcast, where this hits you, which one of these speaks most loudly to you, where all the fear and insecurity pops up, and how you are going to implement this into your life. Because remember, this content, these videos, this type of work is useless if you just listen to it or watch it and you don't implement it. So let us know so we can support you, we can congratulate you, champion you, and hold you accountable. And remember, if you want to become unfuckwithable, you have to fully take ownership and responsibility for your life, for how you feel, for your sense of security. That does not mean isolating yourself from others. It means choosing to feel okay within yourself and become solid. Let go of how much the external world determines how you feel and choose to show up in the world despite. Others might judge you. Others might not like you. Some people aren't your people. But as long as you can start to like, respect, and be proud of your choices, you can start to build that within yourself.